Let's begin. Library of Heaven's Path. Chapter 401 The Explanation of the Blue Cloud Venerable. Master. Miao Neng's face turned pale. Although there was no blame in the teacher's tone, there was a hint of disappointment, which was far more panic-inducing than a reprimand. Who among you has noticed something? Speak up. Ignoring Miao Neng, the Blue Cloud Venerable looked around at everyone. Reporting to Master. Miao Wu Zen Master thought for a moment and said, the 9 people who just entered all have their distinct characteristics. For example, the first one to enter has a tumultuous breath within his body and seems to be unable to control his strength as if he could break through at any moment. The second one has a weak soul, as if he has been seriously injured. The third appears to be blind and seems to walk without hindrance because he uses soul energy to navigate. He quickly detailed the condition of all 9 individuals. Each of these 9 people had some sort of defect or problem. The Blue Cloud Venerable nodded in satisfaction. Anything else? What else there is, I have not discerned. I hope Master will enlighten me. Miao Wu Zen Master bowed. The Blue Cloud Venerable looked deeply at him, nodded in satisfaction, and explained, since none of you have noticed, let me explain in detail. Miao Neng and Miao Wu, the 2 disciples, one is simple-minded and easily swayed by emotions, the other is deep in thought and acts steadily, never standing out when he should not, whether it's good or bad is unknown. Miao Wu has observed very carefully. The first person who entered the room indeed reached the pinnacle of Galaxy 8 Dan, but he was not about to break through. He had attempted to charge through several times without success, hence the uncontrollable power within his body. The Blue Cloud Venerable slowly said, however, after entering the room, in less than a T's time, he not only reached the power of Galaxy 9 Dan but was also exceptionally stable. A breakthrough in less than a T's time. Could it be, that after entering, he consumed a pill that could quickly promote a breakthrough? Everyone was stunned. Given that Zhang Li was an alchemist, and considering this change in him, there was only this possibility. The second to enter had a weak soul, and if I am not wrong, he should have been afflicted by the soul-demolishing curse. This curse is a secret skill practiced only by the witch god sect. Once hit, even if one practices cultivation, the soul energy will continue to diminish unless one finds a way to eliminate the curse or turns to our Buddhist sect for refuge. However, after the person exited the room in a quarter of an hour, his soul energy not only ceased to decline but also radiated extraordinary power as if he had taken a powerful tonic, continued the Blue Cloud Venerable. The crowd looked at each other, unable to utter a word. The soul-demolishing curse, they had all heard of it, was extremely frightening. Even if they were afflicted, it would cause them immense headaches. To heal in less than a quarter of an hour, could it be that this elder Zhang Li could also forge pills against such curses? Ignoring the shock of the crowd, the Blue Cloud Venerable spoke again. The third person is blind because he was poisoned by miasma. This miasma is famous in the Northern Sea region. Could it be the cold origin miasma poison? A disciple blurted out without thinking. The cold origin miasma poison is colorless and tasteless. Those affected would become blind, with no medicine to cure in a short time, unless the cultivation reaches the life sea realm. Otherwise, there is no escaping from the miasma, no medicinal materials would work. Correct, it is this poison that led to his blindness, but like the previous 2, when he left the room, his eyes were clear and bright, already healed. Said the Blue Cloud Venerable. Could it be that in such a short time, he broke through to the life sea realm? The disciple who had spoken earlier stared wide-eyed. The difference between the life sea realm and the galaxy realm was like a chasm. Countless galaxy realm powerhouses spent their whole lives unable to cross it. Not to mention others, this disciple himself had been charging for a full 5 years and still hadn't found a single sign of success. Of course not. He has not broken through, yet his eyes have recovered. If I'm not wrong, he must have taken a pill that purged the miasma poison. Explained the Blue Cloud Venerable. This seems even harder than breaking through to the life sea realm. Exclaimed Miao Neng in astonishment. Breaking through to the Life C realm is troublesome, but numerous cultivators have succeeded. However, there has only been this one successful case of curing the cold origin miasma poison, and no others have been heard of. Indeed, as for the fourth person, the Blue Cloud Venerable quickly went through the conditions of all 9 individuals that entered earlier, each with their defects and issues, but once they had entered the room, all their problems were solved. If not for the master's thorough explanation, they wouldn't dare believe it to be true. Could it be that this elder Zhang Li is not only skilled at forging pills but is also a physician saint capable of solving difficult and miscellaneous diseases? Miao Nang said in shock. It was not that these people had problems and sought him out, but rather he specifically looked for these people. Miao Nang, your logic is muddled and in reverse. With a cold snort, the Blue Cloud Venerable said, intentionally seeking these people and successfully treating them shows that this Zhang Li is frantically forging pills. In a short amount of time, he designed several correct medicines, thus helping them resolve their problems. Does teacher mean, in just over 3 timings, Elder Zhang has designed 9 different types of medicines, all with different properties and effects, and all have been successful? Even Miao Wu couldn't help but widen his eyes in disbelief. He noticed the difference between the 9 entering and leaving the room but had not thought of this since it was too astonishing. In the source world, there is a certain number of pills, and each one requires countless drug testers to be tried and tested thoroughly to be successful, and the cost is immeasurable. That is precisely why, even though the medicine sect has a continuous supply of pills for sale, they are not the wealthiest power because the cost of research and development is too high. In just over 3 timings, plus finding people, administering medicine, forging pills, and to have designed 9 kinds of different medicine, this is simply terrifying. Could this be the brilliance of the number 1 alchemist in the world? The Blue Cloud Venerable nodded. Apart from this possibility, I can think of no other situations. In a short time, he successfully created various types of pills. Otherwise, he couldn't have immediately found people to test them. What he couldn't comprehend was how all 9 medicines were successful. Teacher, could his rapid success have something to do with that Zhang Xuanqing, who holds the sky blue card? After the shock, Miao Wu suddenly spoke up. Elder Zhang Li had been unable to meet them because he was meeting with Zhang Xuanqing. Although Elder Yao Yun did not specify the reason, now that these 2 were inside, and new pills appeared continuously during this period, it's unbelievable to say there is no inevitable connection between the 2. Perhaps, could it be that we guessed wrong before and what they are cultivating is not the heavenly destiny of ceremony but rather something related to medicine? The Blue Cloud Venerable nodded and then fell into deep contemplation. Chapter 402, 38 Yuan Condensing Pill. So it is. While they were still feeling somewhat bewildered, Elder Zhang Li from afar suddenly had a realization, with excitement lighting up his eyes. Reaching out into the void, the river of destiny appeared, and in an instant, countless medicinal materials floated up. Elder Yao Yun looked over and saw that truly, on top of the previous medicinal materials, a spirit leaf grass had been added. Spirit leaf grass grows in places rich with origin qi, possessing rapid healing properties for both internal and external injuries and alleviating pain. Based on the color, it is divided into red spirit leaf, green spirit leaf, and purple spirit leaf. The one in the air was clearly the precious purple spirit leaf from the legends. Not only could it heal wounds, but also nourish the spirit. At this moment, falling into the pill-forging river, it instantly transformed into pure medicinal qi, merging with the other medicinal materials amid thunderous roars. 7 or 8 pills slowly descended. Yuan Condensing Pills. This is a medicine that greatly benefits those at the Life C1 Dan realm. It not only helps cultivators to condense origin energy and stabilize the foundation of the Life C, but also heals injuries and repairs soul damage caused by making breakthroughs. Upon reaching the Life C1 Dan cultivation realm, one could be designated as a 5-star Fate Master, also known as a Fate Master, signifying the ability to control the river of destiny. Challenging this realm is extremely dangerous. Firstly, being impacted by the river of destiny causes instability to the soul. Secondly, part of the soul needs to resonate with the river, leading to a temporary weakness in strength. At this time, the effects of the yuan condensing pill become evident. If one could consume one, it would not only rapidly repair the damage caused by making breakthroughs but also replenish yuan power more effectively, thus further advancing one's cultivation. This was why, in ancient times, this pill was extremely renowned, a spiritual object sought after by countless newly promoted experts of the life sea realm, but regrettably, it was lost over 3,000 years ago. After finding out, Elder Zhongli has been striving to remake it. This is already the 70th version being tried. Did it work? As he looked at the pill in his palm, Elder Zhongli's heart was full of excitement, yet he couldn't quite believe it. He had failed too many times. Even though the pill before him was rounder and its aura richer, he still couldn't bring himself to believe it. Elder, this Miao Hai is a disciple of Blue Cloud Venerable, a joyful Zen cultivator, a strong practitioner at Life C1 Dan, who has come specifically to test the medicine by severing his own arm. Elder Yao Yun hurried forward to explain. He severed his own arm on purpose. Elder Zhongli turned his head to look. Miao Hai, the Zen master, pale-faced, stepped forward, and bowed. Amitabha, my name is Miao Hai, and I have the pleasure of meeting Elder Zhongli. Elder Zhongli nodded, confirming that the man's arm had indeed just been severed, flicked his finger, and a pill flew over. Give it a try. After accomplishing these tasks, he then looked over to Blue Cloud Venerable not far away, and smiled faintly. Blue Cloud Venerable, it's been a long while since we last met. Blue Cloud Venerable returned the greeting. Elder Zhong is too kind. We have been a nuisance. This time, I apologize. Seeing that he wanted to continue speaking, Zhongli waved his hand. Let's not stand on ceremony with polite words. Let's first observe the effects of the medicine. Blue Cloud Venerable didn't take offense and nodded, looking towards his disciple. At this moment, Miao Hai had already swallowed the freshly refined yuan condensing pill. Instantly, a surge of powerful medicinal effect rose from within his body, as if boiling over. Immediately, the severed arm regrew at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the soul damage caused by the breakthrough in Life C1 Dan was also repaired. Boom! A loud rumbling noise came from the room, and countless origin chi converged. The next moment, with the help of the yuan condensing pill, the Miao Hai, a Zen master who had just made a breakthrough in Life C1 Dan not long ago, broke through again, reaching the secondary Dan. Like the Galaxy Realm, the Life C Realm is also divided into 9 Dans, but the difficulty of each Dan is several times, or even 10 times, that of the former, hence the saying, a whole new level with each Dan. According to normal cultivation speed, it would take him 3 to 5 years of accumulation to break through 1 Dan, let alone charge into the double Dan. His cultivation might not even stabilize completely. To truly make a breakthrough, it would take at least 10 years, yet this medicinal pill has erased this period of time for him. Miao Hai, delight leads to forgetting one's form, sorrow leads to burying sorrow. Your current accumulation is still insufficient for a breakthrough, do not ruin your state of wandering. At this moment, the voice of the Blue Cloud Venerable resounded slowly. I shall obey the Master's decree. Zen Master Miao Hai's spirit intensified, a dagger appeared in his palm, and he stabbed towards his chest. With a poochie sound, fresh blood flowed, and the aura that had just advanced to the Life C2 Dan dissipated like a burst balloon, slowly falling back, and after a few breaths, returned to the pinnacle of Life C1 Dan. This, Zhang Zan and Empyrean Kong Shi exchanged a glance, both seeing surprise in each other's eyes. Using the yuan condensing pill to charge into Life C2 Dan was a bit abrupt and somewhat hollow, but as long as he refined it slowly afterward, he would still grow stronger. Yet this guy, not only did he directly halt the advancement, but he also used such a ruthless method. Charging into a realm is to defy the natural order, strength will circulate at high speed within the body, and a forceful physical interruption will undoubtedly cause great damage, leading to intense pain. Indeed, after the aura dissipated, Zen Master Miao Hai's face was as white as paper, with cold sweat beading on his forehead profusely, but even so, he did not utter a sound, as if his body did not belong to him at all. The abstinence from sorrow Zen is indeed extraordinary. Elder Zhang Li exclaimed, clearly, even he did not expect someone to be so merciless to themselves for the sake of practicing Zen. By the way, Blue Cloud Venerable, I remember your Buddhist sect has a kind of joyful Zen, which mainly focuses on inner joy and liberation as the main practice method. Isn't this easier and more comfortable to practice than the abstinence from sorrow Zen? Since they are all Zen practices, there is no difference in superiority or difficulty, and there is no hard work or ease. Since Miao Hai has chosen this path, he must follow it. Choice is the cause, endurance is the effect, this is the sacrifice needed to prove the path. Blue Cloud Venerable said with a smile. Buddhists are the best at causing trouble. I definitely cannot out-talk you with such nonsense, forget it. Elder Zhang Li didn't care about whether the other party got angry or not, waved his hand casually, and couldn't help but look at Miao Hai in front of him. How is it? Taking that pill just now, did you experience any discomfort? Zen Master Miao Hai bowed in salute. To report back to Elder Zhang, the Yuan condensing pill is potent, with great benefits to both soul and body, and there are no problems at all, it's ready for mass production. Indeed successful. Although he had already predicted it, hearing the confirmation from his own mouth, Elder Zhang Li couldn't help but his eyes shining with excitement. Indeed successful again. He turned to look at Zhang Xuanqing and Kong Shiming not far away, his fists involuntarily clenched tight. The 10 medicinal pills that had stumped him for a long time were solved by these two individuals in just a few hours. Could that legendary medicine also be restored through their hands? Chapter 403. Demon Sect. As an alchemy fanatic, being able to forge supreme elixirs has always been his greatest dream. He didn't care how much medicinal materials it would cost or whether it could bring contribution points to the medicine sect. As long as he could forge more pills and benefit more people, that was enough. Knowing that such matters couldn't be hurried and required long-term planning, for now, it was best to first deal with the person before him. Elder Zhang Li turned his head to look at the large monk beside him and curiously asked, Blue Cloud Venerable wouldn't have come just to send a disciple to test medicines, right? It's just a coincidence. Blue Cloud Venerable smiled. This time, I've come to ask for the fruit position golden pill that the elder promised me before. May I know if Elder Zhang is available to help forge it? Zhang Li was stunned. The fruit position golden pill can help the high monks of Buddhist sect cross the perilous parts of the river of destiny and charge towards higher ranks. It is incomparably precious. Most importantly, the medicinal materials are difficult to gather, especially the main ingredient. Even if it's found, it's unlikely to succeed without a great fortune. Could it be, you've already found it? Blue Cloud Venerable nodded. Luckily, the things you mentioned were fully gathered 2 months ago. Zhang Li's eyes revealed a look of surprise. Let's see it. Blue Cloud Venerable's face showed a hint of hesitation, then glanced at Zhang Zan and Empyrean Kong Shi and couldn't help but shake his head. The main ingredient is too significant. I'd ask Elder Zhang to clear the surroundings. That's fine. Zhang Li nodded, then looked towards Zhang Zan and the others with a smile. I'm aware of your capabilities. So, how about you two come back in 3 days? I'd like to ask for your assistance in forging another type of pill, and if successful, each person will be rewarded 200 contribution points. 200. Zhang Zan was startled. From the beginning of testing medicines until now, almost 6 or 7 hours had passed, adding up to only a total of 82 merit points. Now, just by forging one type of pill, he could earn 200 points. This was definitely an opportunity not to be missed. He wasn't earning merit points to become a higher-tiered citizen, but rather, since destiny plates could be purchased with merit points, then certainly, merit points could also be used for purchases. With 5,000 destiny plates, one could buy a house but not even a single contribution point, which could infer the price. Even by the lowest standards, 200 contribution points would undoubtedly be exchangeable for 1 million destiny plates or even more. And the heavenly mandate vitality contained in so many destiny plates would definitely be enough for him to challenge the fourth realm of Yuking destiny, even the fifth realm. Correct. Elder Zhang Li nodded. We agree. Zhang Zan and Empyrean Kong Shi nodded at the same time. Yao Yun, and the rest of you, escort them out. Zhang Li waved his hand. Yes. Yao Yun and others turned around and walked out. Blue Cloud Venerable also turned to Miao Hai, Miao Wu, and the others. You all go out as well. Soon, only the two of them were left in the room. Where's the main ingredient? Zhang Li looked over excitedly. The fruit position golden pill, although not comparable to the elixir he always wanted to forge, could still be considered the pinnacle of contemporary elixirs. Even for him, having the opportunity to forge one would bring significant benefits. Especially the so-called main ingredient, which ordinary people wouldn't even have the chance to see, let alone forge. Here it is. Blue Cloud Venerable faintly smiled and suddenly grasped in the phantasm space. Whoosh! A river of destiny appeared before the two, where amidst the surging river water, a shadow that resembled a tall mountain stood in the middle. Around the shadow, there were numerous chains, densely packed with 100 or more, each one engraved with swastika amulets, radiating a tremendous oppressive force. You've suppressed it within the river of destiny like this. Elder Zhang Li was stunned. This is a chain bestowed by the Bodhisattva, even with 10 times its strength, it cannot escape. Explained Blue Cloud Venerable. I'm not talking about escaping, but rather, how did you find it? And most importantly, how did you capture it? If I'm not mistaken, its strength is not weaker than yours, right? Elder Zhang Li was curious. Blue Cloud Venerable looked over indifferently. To capture it, I once visited Xuanji sect and borrowed a bit of luck. Elder Zhang Li suddenly realized, then excitement flashed in his eyes. To forge the fruit position golden pill, first you have to extract the essence pill from within that creature. I'll go prepare the other medicinal materials. If you can provide it within 1 day, not exceeding 12 timings, I can forge the pill you desire. Good. Blue Cloud Venerable nodded. Ellipsis. Outside the medicine sect, on the green stone road, Zhang Zan and Elder Yao Yun clasped hands in farewell. There's no need for Elder to send us off, we will take our leave now. All right, we'll meet again after 3 days. Elder Yao Yun nodded, then turned to Bian Zhongwen, ensure their safety back to their lodgings. Knowing his master valued these two, he didn't dare to be negligent. Yes. Bian Zhongwen quickly nodded. This way please, both of you. Seeing that it was hard to refuse, Zhang Zan didn't bother saying much. He boarded the carriage prepared by the medicine sect and sped quickly towards their abode. The carriage was silent for some time, until Empyrean Kong Shi, driven by curiosity, looked at the middle-aged man in front of him. The main ingredient for the fruit position golden pill, if I remember correctly, is the essence pill of the demon clan, right? How do you know? Bian Zhongwen was astonished. The fruit position golden pill was an extremely advanced pill, and he only knew some information because he had been seeking people to test pills, and had researched many pills. These two, however, had just arrived in Tianli City today, and yet they spoke of it directly, which was indeed strange. I saw it mentioned in an ancient book before. Empyrean Kong Shi slightly smiled, saying no more. What do you mean? Seeing his expression, Zhang Zan conveyed his doubts through voice transmission. He quickly received a reply. It is said that high-ranking monks from the Buddhist sect seek to break through higher realms and need to congeal their fruit position. The fruit position golden pill is a supreme medicine that can help them advance. Zhang Zan nodded. From the conversation between Blue Cloud Venerable and Elder Zhang Li, he could guess this point. Empyrean Kong Shi continued, As you know, I not only inherited heavenly destiny of ceremony but also some of the intents and experiences of the predecessor Joji, which gave me some understanding of the Buddhist sect. If the records are correct, the main ingredient for the fruit position golden pill should indeed be the essence pill of a high-ranking member of the demon clan. Essence pill. Do you mean, high-ranking monks from the Buddhist sect need to slay a high-ranking member of the demon clan to see the fruit position? Zhang Zan frowned. The demon sect, mastering the demon path, is bloodthirsty, commits all sorts of evil, and is historically antagonistic to the Buddhist sect, standing in opposition to each other. That seems to be the case. As for the specifics, I am not too sure. However, high-ranking members of the demon sect are typically great demons whose deaths are inconsequential. It would be good if more could be slain. Empyrean Kong Shi nodded. That's true, Zhang Zan agreed. Although he did not know the specifics regarding the demon sect, from the records he had read, these individuals sustained themselves by devouring the strength of cultivators. They would kill at the slightest disagreement and even massacre a city, accumulating a wealth of evil deeds. What's key is that the demonic chi within their bodies could corrupt the minds of cultivators, causing mental breakdowns and loss of control over their powers, leading to going berserk. Using the essence pill of a high-ranking member of the demon sect as the main ingredient to forge a golden core, how powerful would that be? If he could take one, perhaps he could directly increase his cultivation to the Life Sea realm, or even higher. Chapter 404. Frost Demon Lord. Inside a silent chamber of the medicine sect, the Blue Cloud Venerable sat cross-legged on a meditation cushion, with Sanskrit flowing across his body, emitting a faint glow. After an unknown amount of time, he opened his eyes and slowly stood up. Having adjusted both physically and mentally to the optimum state, it was time to slay that demon lord and extract the essence pill. With a swipe through the air, the river of destiny appeared before his eyes. His practice was indeed a branch of the karma destiny, selflessness. The reason why abstinence from sorrow Zen can abstain from sorrow is that its core intent is selflessness. When even the self doesn't exist, naturally there's no suffering. At this moment, the Blue Cloud Venerable had already reached the state of selflessness, his gaze calm and steady, panic, fear, sadness, excitement, and such negative emotions all thoroughly eliminated, leaving only calmness and indifference. Taking a step forward, he entered into the river of destiny and approached a huge shadow. It was a fully grown demon king, with a pointed horn on its head that emitted 4 halos, signifying its status. 4-ring demon king. It is said that the more halos a demon king's horn has, the purer its bloodline. The maximum is 5 rings, and this one in front of him has reached 4 rings, showing its horror. This is someone found for forged pills, wanting to kill me. As he appeared, the voice of the 4-ring demon king rang out, both righteous and evil, sounding in the ears like both a soul-beguiling woman's voice and a stable, experienced sage. As a demon king, I deserve to die. I kill you also for liberation, for all beings. The Blue Cloud Venerable looked serene, like a Buddha statue without expression. For all beings. The grandmotherly voice of the 4-ring demon king continued, don't speak so nobly. I, Frost Demon Lord, since I started practicing, have never killed a person, nor have I ingested a cultivator's essence and strength. In contrast, as a high monk of the Buddhist sect, how many cultivators have died by your hands? Not 10,000, then surely 8,000, right? Trying to confuse my Buddhist heart. You are likely miscalculating. Practicing selflessness, let alone mere words, even demonic tunist cannot shake me the slightest. The Blue Cloud Venerable responded indifferently. I am merely discussing facts. The Buddhist sect widely attracts followers, countless people devote their entire lives' efforts to you, just for cultivating merit for their next life. But actually, where is the next life? Where are these so-called merits? Just a bunch of deceivers cheating the world. The Frost Demon Lord shook his head. Forget it, talking more is useless with you hypocritical folks. Just kill if you want to kill. Anyway, I have been bound by you and can't escape. Merit lies within one's heart, being able to become a force to help me reach the fruit position. You could also be considered to have achieved major accomplishment in merit. Speaking indifferently, the blue cloud venerable extended his hand forward, and in an instant, the boundless river of destiny surged, forming a massive, long character in the air. It intertwined with ancient runes on the chains, like a red-hot branding iron. Sizzling sounds. The Frost Demon Lord had green smoke rising from his body, great pain causing him to sweat profusely from his head and his body to tremble uncontrollably. Blue Cloud Venerable, without joy or sorrow, stretched out his hand, and sounds of chanting Sanskrit rose from all around, echoing above the entire river of destiny. The next moment, a power so immense it reached its limit spread towards the giant body before him, and then, an essence pill emitting an immense amount of demonic chi slowly levitated from the top of the Frost Demon Lord's head. He planned to forcibly extract the essence pill from within the body of his opponent. Rustling. Just at that moment, the iron chains around suddenly pulled taut, and the chanting of the Sanskrit also diminished slightly. You actually fused the essence pill with the iron chains. Blue Cloud Venerable furrowed his brows. The essence pill inside the opponent's body was pulled out through strength, but a problem was discovered. Knowing that escape was impossible, the demon surprisingly directly fused his own essence pill with the iron chains left by the Buddha, forcibly seizing them. Even if the capture could succeed, it would also destroy them, making it impossible to forge pills anymore. The essence pill signifies the essence of oneself. Fusing it with the iron chains is like stabbing one's own heart with an iron hook, repeatedly piercing it and stringing it together. How much boldness and courage does this require? This demon was even more ruthless than he who practiced selflessness. You wouldn't think that by fusing the essence pill with the iron chains, I can't obtain it, right? Ridiculous. At last, a change appeared on the composed face of Blue Cloud Venerable as he snorted coldly. Forcibly extracting it, the essence pill will shatter. Even if obtained, you cannot use it to make fruit position golden pills. This surely isn't what you want, right? Frost Demon Lord no longer had his previous expression, but instead wore a smile. How about we make a deal? You let me go, and I give you the essence pill. It's a win-win situation. Blue Cloud Venerable flipped his wrist, and a string of Buddha beads appeared in his palm. You surely don't believe that by locking up the essence pill, I am helpless. You underestimate the Buddhist sect, and underestimate a monk about to meet the Bodhisattva fruit position. Whoosh! Accompanying his words, Blue Cloud Venerable gently tossed the Buddha beads in his hand, which immediately fell down, hovering above Frost Demon Lord's head. In the next moment, a series of crisp sounds, the one character on the chains, its light slowly dissipated. Don't you come over here. After finishing these actions, with a lift of his eyebrow, Blue Cloud Venerable made another grab. The essence pill above Frost Demon Lord's head quickly rose again. This time there was no sound from the chains, as if the treasures from the Buddhist sect that locked down his corpse and soul were temporarily suppressed by the power of the Buddha beads. Unexpectedly, the opponent had the ability to temporarily suppress the chains. A flicker of panic flashed in Frost Demon Lord's eyes, and he gritted his teeth trying to control the essence pill to prevent it from being taken. Paltry trick. Blue Cloud Venerable snorted coldly, and the power in the palm of his hand gradually increased, his face changing from a rosy hue to progressively becoming paler. Honestly speaking, this Demon King, being of the same tier as the Bodhisattva of the Buddhist sect, his current level of cultivation could not suppress him without the help of the iron chains. Even now, despite the help of both the Buddha beads and the iron chains, Buddhist treasures, forcibly extracting the essence pill was still somewhat strenuous. Break. In a moment of exerting his full strength, a fierce look suddenly flashed in the eyes of the panic-stricken Frost Demon Lord, accompanied by a low shout, boom. The body that was bound by the chains suddenly exploded, transforming into a clump of supremely pure power, surging towards Blue Cloud Venerable along with the essence pill. Blue Cloud Venerable was like rope pulling, using all his strength to pull. In the stalemate, the opponent not only loosened the rope but also destroyed his corpse, pushing all the power over. In an instant, the power backflooded. Even the formidable Blue Cloud Venerable could hardly bear it, his face turning pale as he spewed a mouthful of fresh blood. Spurt. The next moment, the essence pill surged over, immediately carrying the chains, piercing his chest, and burst out of the bounds of the River of Destiny, escaping. Chapter 406. Karma Destiny. Thank you for suppressing the strength of the iron chains, otherwise I could only obediently stay here, ha ha ha, farewell, we shall meet again if destiny wills it. A thought flashed through the essence pill, and in the next moment, accompanied by the clanging sound of the chains, it burst out of the room in an instant, disappearing on the spot, as if it had escaped into the phantasm space, leaving no trace. The face turned pale, and Blue Cloud Venerable spewed out a mouthful of fresh blood. The next moment, the River of Destiny in front of him seemed to be swept by a hurricane, churning incessantly with terrifying waves. As the river, agitated, knowing that if he didn't suppress it quickly, at best the fragments of the heavens would collapse and his cultivation would be completely wasted, and at worst he would die on the spot, Blue Cloud Venerable dared not to move and immediately sat down cross-legged. Until this moment, he finally realized that everything was part of the other's plan. This Frost Demon Lord was even more ruthless than imagined, first using the iron chains to pierce through his own essence pill, forcing him to only seal the power within the chains. Without the shackles of the chains, the explosion of the corpse along with a portion of his own strength had severely injured him in the short term, allowing the other party to use these forces to successfully break free from the control of the River of Destiny and escape. Without a corpse, even if your cultivation reaches the heavens, you won't be able to last long. With the karma destiny of my Buddhist sect in place, I don't believe you can escape. After taking a couple of deep breaths, the Blue Cloud Venerable finally recovered, his expression as dark as the bottom of a pot. Even if the other party was a four-ring demon king with extremely powerful soul energy, the beast core was penetrated by the Buddhist sect's iron chains, and having his corpse exploded and clashed heavily with himself, he was also not lightly injured. As long as karma destiny was still present, he would inevitably be unable to escape pursuit. However, recovery comes first. This time by letting the other party escape successfully, not only was his strength greatly damaged, but the River of Destiny was also impacted, nearly collapsing. Selflessness requires one to forget oneself, yet just now he was overcome by emotion and fury arose. His state of wandering became unstable, and he almost went berserk. Luckily his strength was formidable and his cultivation realm was sufficiently profound, which allowed him to suppress it. Otherwise, once the inner demon spread and ignited the heart fire, perhaps in just a thought, he could be burnt to ashes, never to recover. After an unknown amount of time had passed in breath regulation, the river finally stabilized and all his injuries recovered. With a light sway, he returned to the room, just opened the door, and saw Elder Zhongli approaching excitedly. I have already prepared the medicinal materials. How about the essence pill? Hand it over quickly, and I will help you to forge the fruit position golden pill. About that, Blue Cloud Venerable's face flushed. I apologize, but I currently have matters to attend to and need to deal with them first. I will apologize to you when I return. After saying that, his body leapt into the air, disappearing in the blink of an eye. A moment later, he arrived at a mountain top outside Tianli City. With a sweep of his sleeve, a total of 8 bodhisattva statues appeared in front of him, all of whom were the 8 bodhisattvas of the Buddha's tutelage. Kneeling in front of the bodhisattva statues, he gently touched his brow with a finger. Om. The sound of wind rose, and from the brows of the 8 bodhisattvas, light spots emerged, drilling into his brow. The next moment, Blue Cloud Venerable felt as if he had entered an enormous dark room, with the 8 bodhisattvas sitting high in the phantasm space, looking down at him coldly. I have seen all the bodhisattvas. Blue Cloud wishes to borrow the power of karma to find the escaped Frost Demon Lord. Hands joined together, Blue Cloud Venerable knelt on the ground. Granted. A clear and cold voice of a bodhisattva rang out, and subsequently, a river emerged. Following that, a stream as thin as a hair strand separated from it, landing in his palm. This is the karma between you and the Frost Demon Lord. Follow the stream to find the place where the other party is hiding. The voice of the bodhisattva continued to rise. Blue Cloud Venerable breathed a sigh of relief, kowtowed again, and the next moment his soul energy returned, finding himself still kneeling in front of the bodhisattva statues. Packing up the bodhisattva statues, with a flick of his finger, the stream just now appeared within his line of sight, extending straight into the distance, its end unknown. He leapt into the air and hurriedly pursued in the direction of the water flow. As one of the extremely powerful fragments of the heavens within the second-level heavenly destiny, as long as he intersected with the other person, he could easily find them through this means. That's why he wasn't worried even if the other party fled. The direction of the water flow continued straight into the city, and Qingyan moved swiftly, arriving at the end before long. What appeared before his eyes was a spacious street, bustling with the coming and going of carriages and filled with pedestrian tracks everywhere. Where could they have fled to? Qingyan frowned. Their connection should be so strong that even if they fled to the world's edge, it wouldn't break. And now, to have lost it after entering the city for such a short time, it seemed strange no matter how he looked at it. Could it be that he possessed another person? The idea suddenly crossed his mind. With the other party's corpse shattered, only an essence pill remained. To survive longer and hide his aura, he could only possess another life. But even if he possessed another body, the karma between them persisted, and he still couldn't escape the pursuit. Karma is not an aura, not a trace, but a kind of ethereal entanglement. His own harm propagated, and the other's body was destroyed because of him. The magnitude of their connection was indescribable. How could it possibly just sever? Unless his intent were erased, his essence pill refined, and his body and path annihilated, there was no way he could disappear. Continue searching, I refuse to believe they can't be found. With a grim expression, his soul energy dispersed like mercury, looking everywhere for suspicious clues. After a long search yielding nothing, he stumbled upon something peculiar. This seems to be the road I took from the medicine sect back to my residence. Qingyan recognized it. He had walked this road before when he went from his place to the medicine sect, so it was very familiar. With the countless small and large streets of Tianli City numbering in the tens of thousands, could there be any connection to the disappearance occurring right here? In an instant, Qingyan fell into deep thought. Ellipsis. Time rewinds to 2 hours earlier. Zhang Zan sat in the carriage, still full of emotion and shock from Empyrean Kongxi's words. No wonder the Buddhist sect and demon sect are irreconcilable. To forge pills with the core elixirs of demon sect strongmen, likely only the Buddhist sect would be so ruthless. However, it was none of his concern. These matters were too distant from him. What he needed to do now was to comprehend a higher realm of the love destiny as soon as possible, to charge into Galaxy 7 Dan, or even 9 Dans. So long as he reached the Life Sea realm, even in Tianli City, he would have a certain ability to protect himself. He smiled faintly, just about to concentrate and enter the Library of Heaven's Path to study the Yuking destiny, when he suddenly felt his body shake, and his cultivation was sealed by an overpowering strength. The next moment, his consciousness dizzy, as if falling into another space, a round essence pill appeared within his field of vision. Damn brat, you're out of luck, today you will become my host, and be devoured by me. A strange intent, mixed male and female, like that of a grandmother, echoed in his mind. 407. Admitted into the Library of Heaven's Path. His heart tightened, and Zhang Zan hurriedly looked over. What appeared in his sight was a dazzling golden essence pill, its voice imbued with a seductive tone, as streams of demonic qi entwined around him, tightly binding his soul as though trying to drag it into an endless abyss. Demon. Zhang Zan was stern. Though he had never encountered a demon cultivator, he had heard of the legends. The essence pill in front of him was like a volcano filled with destruction, ready to explode at any moment. If it weren't for Fox Charm Destiny's cultivation reaching the peak of the fourth realm, granting her some resistance to its seduction, she might have already been unable to resist and would have fallen completely. How can there be a demon in Tianli Royal City? And why on me? Zhang Zan couldn't understand. Tianli Empire is the most powerful dynasty in the world, with Emperor Fusheng standing at the pinnacle of power in the Source World, controlling numerous second-level heavenly destinies under his command. With such setups, arrays are everywhere, and masters abound. Logically, demon cultivators wouldn't dare to enter easily, yet not only has one come, but it has also come straight to him. It all seems rather bizarre. Knowing that now was not the time to ponder these questions, Zhang Zan forcibly suppressed his soul which was about to be enchanted and raised his head. Senior, as a demon cultivator, even if you possess me, it would be hard to suppress the power inside my body. In other places, you might not care, but in Tianli City, once the demonic qi leaks, it will certainly attract the attention of masters and you will be completely suppressed. First, stabilize the other party before anything else. A mere Galaxy 6 Dan has been possessed by me, and you can still speak lucidly. A voice that was neither male nor female came. This essence pill was none other than Frost Demon Lord who had escaped from the hands of Blue Cloud Venerable. He thought that by possessing a minor Galaxy Realm cultivator, he could quickly erase the soul or successfully enchant him, but unexpectedly he was still able to articulate such analysis. It wasn't that he didn't want to leave the city, but the city walls of Tianli City had extremely strong formations. It was easy for the demon cultivator's strong rush to be detected, and most importantly, he was severely injured and wanted to recover quickly. Only in Tianli City could he find this condition. If he really fled, even if no one chased him down, he might just fall. Not killing you is fine, but do you really think that with a Galaxy 6 Dan cultivation, you can withstand my mighty magical powers? Frost Demon Lord huffed. It wasn't that he looked down on the other party, but such a trivial cultivation level, even if he didn't kill, would be completely corrupted into a demon as the power from the essence pill released. It's like ink falling on a white shirt. No matter how pure and steadfast you are, you will be assimilated and be left with stains. Definitely can't withstand it, but I have some specialities. As long as Senior's essence pill is willing to enter my mind, there's a way to conceal the demonic qi and no one would detect your presence. Zhang Zan hastily said, "Enter the mind." Frost Demon Lord was perplexed. The mind is the most important place for a cultivator. Normally, even if he wanted to enter, shouldn't the other party resist fiercely? Why was he instead inviting him in? Seemingly seeing his confusion, Zhang Zan looked up with embarrassment. My own cultivation is too low, even if I wanted to resist the senior, I couldn't do it. Since that's the case, I might as well open myself up and only ask for my life to be spared. I will absolutely obey and find medicine to repair your injuries. I only need to be unconcerned about death to control the power in my body so the demonic qi wouldn't leak. Frost Demon Lord was pleased and shook slightly, his voice spreading with enticement again. Being able to think of this shows you are wise. In that case, as long as you can help me recover my power, I don't mind granting you wealth and glory. Thank you, Senior. Zhang Zan was excited. I am willing to go through fire and water for you. The androgynous voice of Frost Demon Lord rang out. All right, open your mind now. I'm coming over, and I hope there's not the slightest resistance, otherwise, I will immediately erase your intentions and occupy your body. Senior, rest assured, I will absolutely not resist. Zhang Zan said earnestly. Seeing his sincerity, the Frost Demon Lord no longer hesitated. With a thought, an immense intent carrying the essence pill rushed rapidly toward the direction of the mind. Indeed, it was unimpeded and reached a vast ocean. What is that? As he moved forward aiming to find the core of the opponent's intent, he he saw a huge building appear within his line of sight. It resembled a palace, majestic and vast, floating above the mind, grand and solemn, giving a deep impression. Library of Heaven's Path. He even has this inside his mind. See. Driven by curiosity, the Frost Demon Lord approached and gently slipped inside. He was greeted by endless layers of books, wondering why his opponent would possess such items, when suddenly a dazzling force descended from above, like an eel slithering into a bamboo tube. Boom! A massive sound came from the phantasm space, and his intent was shaken in the blink of an eye, on the verge of collapsing. What power is this? Who are you really? The Frost Demon Lord, though foolish, understood he had been tricked. The essence pill shook and tried to burst out, only to find that the entire library, like a giant cage, was suppressed by intense intent, making escape a luxury. This intent seemed as if it was the embodiment of the world itself, like facing a demon monarch, and even with his cultivation at the pinnacle of the source world, he could not contend against it. I am Zhang Zan. With a slight smile, Zhang Zan's figure abruptly appeared in front of him. As soon as this essence pill appeared inside his body, he knew he couldn't contend with his own power, but, if he lured it into the Library of Heaven's Path, leveraging the power of the Heaven's Path, he should easily subdue it. It appeared to be just so. His Library of Heaven's Path, although only transformed by the Heaven's Path of the New World, had merged with the Heaven's Path of the Source World after arriving. Even if he couldn't leverage the entire power of the Source World, even a trace was beyond what this fellow could contend with. Moreover, entering the Library of Heaven's Path was akin to entering his own new world. As the master of one realm, even killing the opponent at his peak might be challenging, left only with an essence pill, it shouldn't be hard anymore. You are merely at the galaxy realm. How can you possess such a powerful celestial treasure? Could it be, you are a descendant of some supremely powerful being? The Frost Demon Lord's body trembled slightly. He didn't recognize the Library of Heaven's Path, thinking it was a celestial treasure. To forge such an artifact, the lowest requirement would probably be at the level of a demon monarch. You are not qualified to ask questions yet. Zhang Zan, with his hands behind his back, stood like a giant. Now I'll ask you, answer properly, or else your soul will scatter and you will never transcend. You! The Frost Demon Lord roared in anger, with the essence pill dashing about wildly. Woo! An extremely powerful force, transforming into an invisible hand, crashed down suddenly, and with a smack. The essence pill was slammed hard onto the ground, unable to move anymore. 408. 10 Directions Bodhi Demon Suppression Rope. I, the Frost Demon Lord, am an 8-star Destiny Master, a pinnacle cultivator of the Life Sea realm. I can even vie for the lifespan bestowed by the heavens. I refuse to believe I'll be subdued by someone merely at the Galaxy 6 Dan. With a roar of anger, the essence pill violently spun, and in a flash, a torrent of demonic chi burst forth like flames, exploding in all directions. Bone Corrosion Demon Barrier. This was an extremely powerful offensive skill of the demon sect, somewhat similar to the Buddhist sect's Great Compassionate Mantra. The demonic chi that surged from the essence pill could not only erode a cultivator's origin energy but also grind away their soul to nothingness. At this sudden use, not to mention those at the galaxy realm, even a strong cultivator like Elder Zhang Li would have to avoid its sharp edge. Capture. Zhang Zan, who was floating not too far away, lightly uttered 2 words. Whoosh! The demonic chi flames were gathered up as if by an invisible giant net. In the blink of an eye, they were drawn back into the essence pill, as if the scene was being rewound. Struck by this force, the already injured mind of the Frost Demon Lord began to shake, and a dense network of cracks appeared. You. The voice trembled, filled with disbelief. To compress back the exploded Bone Corrosion Demon Barrier was like reversing an exploded firework, let alone someone at the galaxy realm. Even a powerful entity like the Demon Monarch wouldn't be capable of accomplishing this. Who exactly is this person, and how could he possess such terrifying cultivation? The most crucial point was, from beginning to end, the other party didn't even make a move, just spoke a sentence. Submit to me, and I will spare your life. Ignoring his shock, Zhang Zan seemed to consider the matter trivial and was utterly indifferent. Dream on. The essence pill, carrying madness and a voice that switched from mixed male and female to a distinctly sharp female pitch, cried out. Hiss. A mighty thought surged forth, transforming into a sharp sword in the air, which in the blink of an eye, crossed the spatial distance to appear in front of Zhang Zan and stabbed toward his brow. The strongest attack of the Frost Demon Lord, sky-splitting kill. A desperate gamble, using the soul as a sword to pierce through space and erase the opponent's spirit. Once this move is fully executed, even the Blue Cloud Venerable might fall directly. This move, while powerful, has a flaw, using all one's strength. If the first strike misses, a second attempt at offense would be difficult. Thinking that with the other side's ability, they would surely try to dodge, I did not expect them to stand completely still, as if they had not reacted. With a surge of joy in his heart, the thought-forged sword of the Frost Demon Lord had already viciously struck Zhang Zan's brow. Break. It was at this moment that the other party's calm voice slowly emerged. Whoosh. The sword was a mere millimeter from the eyebrow, but that single millimeter was like an insurmountable chasm that could no longer be crossed. Subsequently, an overwhelmingly powerful force spread from the void, striking the Frost Demon Lord like a hammer, shattering him into a shower of raindrops. Having already suffered great damage from exploding his body to escape Elder Qingyan's life sea and disrupting the River of Destiny, this forceful shatter dramatically weakened his vigorous spirit, like a venomous snake struck at its vital spot, left with no ability to resist. Shall we continue? Zhang Zan, recalling that step, felt an immense pressure as if Emperor Fusheng himself had arrived. I concede. The somewhat fragmented soul of the Frost Demon Emperor returned to the essence pill. That's more like it. Zhang Zan smiled slightly, and with a gentle stretch of his palm, the pill filled with demonic qi not far away immediately began to float towards his hand. Just as it was about to land in his palm, something unexpected occurred. Innumerable chains appeared out of nowhere, rapidly spreading out to envelop Zhang Zan entirely. At this moment, the young man appeared just as the demon monarch trapped in the River of Destiny once did, with both his soul and his corpse restrained. Ha ha ha, unexpected, isn't it? This is the Buddha's 10 Directions Bodhi Demon Suppressing Rope. Even I could hardly resist it at my prime, let alone you. Die. The Frost Demon Lord laughed excitedly. He had executed the Bone Corrosion Demon Barrier and the Sky-Splitting Kill, and even went as far as hurting himself severely, all to prepare for this move. The demon suppressing rope was not his celestial treasure, it was simply brought along with his essence pill in his escape. In principle, he shouldn't be able to activate it, but his previous 2 moves had suffused his opponent with demonic qi. Once the essence pill got close, it automatically triggered the artifact's attack. Oh, you have a celestial treasure too, not bad, not bad. Just as he believed that the other would quickly fall apart under the pressure of the demon suppressing rope, a faint voice sounded. Boom 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 boom. Then, to the Frost Demon Lord's astonished gaze, the chains that even he couldn't break free from at his peak began to shatter, bit by bit, turning into streams of pure energy that returned inside the essence pill, as forlorn as a puppy that had been hit with a stick. Who exactly are you? The Frost Demon Lord was truly afraid. It would be understandable if, after being severely injured, he had less than 1/10 the strength of his prime and couldn't defeat his opponent. But, this was the Buddha's 10 Directions Bodhi Demon Suppressing Rope. Even 9 Dan pinnacle cultivators of the Life Sea realm couldn't withstand this peerless celestial treasure, yet it was crumbling bit by bit under a single sentence from his opponent. Seeing it with his own eyes, he still found it incredible. Since you won't submit, I'll just forge you. It won't waste much time. Not bothering to reply to his nonsense, Zhang Zan extended a finger, about to touch the essence pill. No, your lord, submit. I am willing to offer my soul, content to be a subordinate and servant to my Lord. Knowing that with a flick of his opponent's finger, his soul would truly be scattered, the Frost Demon Lord no longer dared to hesitate and hurriedly cried out. This time there was no female voice, only a steady male tone. Zhang Zan stopped his finger, and soon saw a pure cluster of intent floating up from the essence pill. If he were to forge it, he could control the other's soul. That's more like it. With a light flick, the intent entered his own mind, and was effortlessly forged. Suddenly, Zhang Zan could feel the other's soul, vast like a mountain. It's a good thing this was inside the library of Heaven's Path. Had it been outside, even an accidental release of telekinesis could be insurmountable for him. After forging the other's soul, Zhang Zan once again captured the essence pill in his palm. It wasn't large, yet the strength within was as pure as the ocean, boundless. So powerful. His heart quivered. If he could forge the strength within it, his cultivation could easily break through to the life sea realm or even higher. Lucky for him, this guy had appeared fearing trouble and didn't directly attack him, instead being coaxed into the library. Otherwise, no matter how resourceful he was, he wouldn't stand a chance at victory. Master. After his soul was forged by the other, the Frost Demon Lord lost his previous defiance. His soul emerged, bowing with clasped fists. Zhang Zan nodded and looked over. Tell me, who exactly are you, who sent you here to kill me? The appearance of this guy was too strange. With so many people on the street, he had singled him out, which seemed like a well-prepared plot. 409. It's simply fantastic. I am Frost Demon Lord, a disciple under the Blood Venerate Demon Emperor, captured by Blue Cloud Venerable using the 10 Directions Bodhi Demon Suppression Rope, who intended to forge me into a fruit position golden pill, to aid in his assault on the Bodhisattva fruit position. I gravely wounded him and managed to escape, and stumbled upon you by chance, not under any orders. The Frost Demon Lord dared not conceal anything and hastily explained. Forge a fruit position golden pill. Zhang Zan was stunned. Wasn't this the news just learned at the medicine sect? Kicked out for wanting to forge that pill, did it fail, allowing the main ingredient to escape? No wonder he fled here, guessing that he had already formed some kind of karma destiny with that Blue Cloud Venerable, and this Frost Demon Lord also had a connection with him. By a twist of fate, he encountered me, and intended to possess me. Now it seems, indeed he wasn't acting on orders, just a coincidental opportunity. Knowing this, Zhang Zan lost interest in this demon lord, and dismissively waved his hand. You stay here, where no one will detect your demonic chi, nor can karma destiny locate you. If you prove useful in the future, I wouldn't mind helping you restore your strength. Having said this, he couldn't be bothered to pay any more attention to the other party, and with a thought, returned to his body. At his current level of cultivation, he couldn't absorb the strength from the essence pill, nor could he completely forge it. Since that was the case, he might as well leave it here for now. Seeing his intention departing, Frost Demon Lord paused, then his face twisted in a ferocious sneer. Damn it, damn it. A high and mighty demon lord, a freak who has cultivated for who knows how many years, is actually forced to acknowledge a junior in the galaxy realm as his master. Even though he sacrificed his soul and had no choice, the frustration in his heart was real and couldn't be vented. I must find an opportunity to break free from his control. If Blue Cloud Venerable could trap me using the Bodhi Demon Suppression Rope and I still found a way to escape, then this device called the Library of Heaven's Path, albeit terrifying, might also offer a chance. He looked up and examined the room in front of him carefully. It really was a library, with countless books floating around the walls, endless at a glance, with no visible end. A library can also serve as a magic artifact. What can it do? Throw books at people. Frost Demon Lord scoffed. These cultivators, they always concoct such impractical things. Demon cultivators and other cultivators belong to two different systems. They eat people when they want to eat people, suck blood when they feel like sucking blood, living as they please, without any concern for karma, unlike those Buddhist monks, who though eating people, still put on a sanctimonious facade. This library before his eyes must be the same. The essence pill floated in the air, slowly moving forward, and suddenly stopped. What's that? From deep within the library, above, several river-like objects came into view. This is heavenly destiny. Can one person cultivate so many types? Frost Demon Lord was taken aback. In the sky, rivers of various sizes crisscrossed and intertwined, exactly 6 in number. Although some scions of major families, by utilizing the technique of stripping away heavenly destiny, can cultivate multiple destinies to avoid being besieged by misfortune and helplessly being swept away. By destiny, cultivating 2 or 3 types is already a lot, let alone 6, isn't he afraid of biting off more than he can chew? Probably they're all low-level destinies, even if he cultivates many, it won't make much of an impact. A thought surfaced. Actually, there had been people who cultivated many types of heavenly destiny before, but mostly they were low-level, simply to pass the time. This guy probably did the same. With that thought, his spirit transformed into fine threads, carefully exploring the rivers in the sky. Now that he's seen them, it fits to find out what sort of heavenly destinies this person has cultivated, so mixed and varied. Flowing light destiny, Modao destiny. He quickly recognized the bottom 2 and Frost Demon Lord sneered, trash. The flowing light heavenly destiny is a kind of attribute destiny that can be applied to saber art, sword art, and spearmanship. It didn't even qualify for independence and wasn't worth mentioning. As for Modao destiny, it was rarely used, belonging to a minor branch of saber art, and was also scarce in number. These 2, at best, were 6th-level destinies. It seems that my guess was correct, this guy is just practicing for fun. No wonder he only reached the galaxy realm and still studied such low-level destinies, it would be weird if he were powerful. Shaking his head, he continued to look at the remaining 4. Giant wave formation, Fox Charm destiny. Somewhat interesting, but that's about it. Frost Demon Lord laughed again lightly. While these 2 might seem unattainable to others, they meant nothing in the eyes of a current-era pinnacle powerhouse like himself. At most, you could help someone reach the life C5 Dan or 6 Dan, any higher was nearly impossible. The last 2 should be his main heavenly destinies for cultivation. He looked again at the last 2 rivers. Destinies are like languages. Even if you are proficient in 10 languages, you're only best at 1, and that is your foundation, the rest is merely expansion. With such an impressive celestial treasure at hand, this guy's main cultivation destiny should reach grade 3 at least. Speculating in his mind, his gaze fell upon a river full of ancient runes. This river was narrow and small, looking rather unremarkable and without the imposing presence of a powerful destiny. The Frost Demon Lord, with a contemptuous air, had just focused his spirit on it when his essence pill suddenly trembled violently. This is. What appeared before his eyes was a 2nd-level heavenly destiny, space. Could it be that this fellow is the illegitimate child of the space-time saint? That would be possible. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to wield such a celestial treasure casually. A descendant of a 2nd-level heavenly destiny, as long as he does not perish, his strength will surely surpass the life C realm, becoming his servant wouldn't be too disgraceful. After the initial shock, he breathed a sigh of relief. He had been looking for an escape because the opponent's strength was too low. Now, it looked like he was barely fitting to be his master. It looks like this is his main cultivation destiny. Just as he was about to retract his spirit, his gaze fell upon the last heavenly destiny. This river was not very broad, but all its tributaries were connected to the other destinies, binding them together like chains. Startled for a moment, Frost Demon Lord shuddered violently, his emotions surged, and demonic chi burst wildly from within his essence pill, almost losing control. It can actually suppress the space destiny, forcing it not to resist. Could it be? Could it be? He did not recognize this heavenly destiny, but he could see the submissiveness of the space destiny before it. To make a second-level destiny behave like this, could it be, this is a first-level destiny? This young man, he is actually an understander of a first-level destiny. To be tamed by such a person and become his servant, what is there to feel aggrieved about? It's simply fantastic. No, my attitude just now wasn't very good. When he comes over next time, I must kneel and slide to greet him. I could even lend him my essence pill for temporary use. What? Pride. I am from the demon clan, such a thing does not exist. Chapter 410. The Fragments of the Heavens of Thought. Returning to his residence, after seeing off Bian Zhongwen, Zhongzhan flipped his wrist and released his 3 disciples from the suspended realm. He fetched Sun Chang, allocated some of the merit points he had earned to each of them, helping them attain the status of Tier 5 citizens. After these preparations, he stomped on the ground, and the formation in the courtyard instantly activated, isolating the surroundings, before Zhongzhan turned to them. Lu Mingyu has already made a breakthrough, so I will not say much more. Yu Xiaoyu, Hong Yi, both of you are about to breach the galaxy realm, and to succeed, you need to choose the right destiny. What are your thoughts? Lu Mingyu had grasped the Modao destiny, and during her time in Zealand Valley, she successfully challenged the galaxy realm. With several days of practice, her strength had already stabilized thoroughly. As for Yu Xiaoyu and Hong Yi, after their trials in the 9 God Monarchs, they had also made tremendous progress, both reaching the peak of Dharma manifestation realm, ready to make their breakthroughs at any moment. It was time to choose their main destiny. He still had the Fox Charm destiny and Space destiny. Even if they did not wish to learn, he could still offer better guidance and arrangements. We wish to major in the destiny our teacher has comprehended. After pondering for a moment, Hong Yi spoke. Me too. Whatever destiny our teacher has mastered, we will practice the same, so our teacher can guide us better. Yu Xiaoyu nodded continuously, the bells on her body ringing due to her vigorous motions. Unexpectedly, they chose this path, and Zhongzhan paused for a moment then shook his head. The destiny I have is very difficult, not so easy to practice. We are not afraid of difficulties. Hong Yi's eyes were filled with determination. We're just afraid of disappointing our teacher. He came from an ordinary background, with very poor talent. Without his teacher, speaking of reaching the 9-fold source pool pinnacle was impossible. Reaching the 5th or 6th fold in this lifetime would have been his limit. In just under 2 months, he had surpassed his previous limits, viewing any difficulty as a minor challenge, only fearing losing contact with his teacher. Me too. Yu Xiaoyu also nodded. Since you have this intention, I will perform the destiny I have comprehended for you to observe and learn however much you can, and if you really can't grasp it, there's nothing we can do. Seeing their determined attitudes, Zhongzhan stopped speaking further, flipped his wrist, and the cold nether sword appeared in his palm. With a gentle wave, the Yuking sword technique unfolded, forming threads in the air that enveloped the surroundings like a fishing net. What a spectacular sword technique! Lu Mingyu couldn't help but comment. Initially, she thought that her teacher primarily focused on the saber art, only to find out after much confusion that it was a sword art instead. Furthermore, the sword intent carried a lingering feeling that pierced the soul, making it inescapable even with the fastest movement techniques. Unfortunately, having already begun her practice, changing now seemed impossible. Unlike her disappointment, Yu Xiaoyu and Hong Yi quickly immersed themselves in the sword art. Especially the former, when she saw the dazzling sword qi in front of her, resembling snow, she remembered her first experience learning swordsmanship. Indeed, she had learned swordsmanship, taught by her father, City Lord Yulongqing. At that time, her mother had just passed away from illness, and she had sunk into deep sorrow. Her father came over, gently touched with a sword, and a flower petal fell down, landing on her hair. Her father said, "This petal is your mother, bringing you her thoughts. When your sword technique can gently touch without harming the petals, even if mother is gone, she will be very happy. Since then, she had been diligently practicing swordsmanship, but with average talent, especially in body control which wasn't very nimble. The basic moves her father taught often took half a month to learn. Later, Steward Liao thought of a method, tying bells to her body. Whenever she executed a move correctly, they would chime. After that, her progress indeed surged, and she also developed the habit of wearing bells. The sword intent just demonstrated by her teacher was exquisitely beautiful. In an instant, she felt as though she was seeing her mother's gentle smile once more, looking at her with indulgence and affection, as always. The breeze fluttered, and flowers blossomed abundantly. This was the sword intent, her mother and her longing. In an instant, Yu Xiaoyu seemed to have comprehended something. A slight smile appeared on her lips, and with her finger acting as a sword, she gently tapped. Puchi. A streak of sword qi landed on the ground, piercing a hole into the smooth surface. Expecting her own sword intent to be profound and complex, Zhang Zan thought it would take a long time to comprehend, yet was surprised by her quick success. With an intent, he entered the Library of Heaven's Path, and indeed saw a new branch in the pathos of Heaven's River, stretching deep into the phantasmal void and slowly infusing it with water. Not bad, you've comprehended. Zhang Zan smiled. It seems that Yu Xiaoyu's talent is quite decent. She has comprehended the yearning branch of love destiny. At the edge of the world, there may be limits, but yearning knows none. Yearning is an exceedingly important branch of emotions, containing the most sincere feelings. Boom! Along with the infusion of this heavenly fragment, Zhang Zan felt a gentle tremor in the river ahead, which involuntarily widened. Is this the fourth level of love destiny? Zhang Zan was astonished. What had been blocking his progression, preventing him from making breakthroughs, had suddenly been crossed. No wonder those who cultivate destiny keep disciples. Indeed, it can enhance one's cultivation. As the river widened, countless books in the sky burned and transformed back into pure heavenly mandate vitality, rapidly irrigating the somewhat arid areas. In just over 10 breaths, the river had doubled in thickness and more than doubled in length. This consumption is too great. As more books burned, the excitement of advancing faded from Zhang Zan's eyes, replaced by a face full of conflict. In Zealand Valley, he had obtained several billion heavenly mandate vitality. It seemed like a lot, but this advancement had nearly depleted it. Of course, it wasn't just love destiny alone advancing. As its stream expanded and progressed, the interlacing space river also continuously absorbed the incoming heavenly mandate vitality, rapidly advancing. After a long, indeterminate period, both had made breakthroughs to the fourth level and had stabilized. Cultivation. Breakthrough. With a flick of his spirit, the medicinal power accumulated from previous testing of medicines immediately started circulating rapidly, transforming into rich nutrients filling his body. Boom! In the blink of an eye, he broke through the shackles of Galaxy 6 Dan, reaching 7 Dan. Is it that simple? The Frost Demon Lord, as an essence pill, was thinking about the Master arriving and was contemplating which posture to use for a sliding kneel, just to see that dominating river in the void breaking through some shackles, suddenly becoming immensely thick. To comprehend a first-level destiny is genius, but to advance so rapidly is too genius,